Hey, how we doing? We're live, I think. I never know if this actually goes live when I click the button or not, but let's find out if this is actually... Oh, yes. We are connected. Happy Saturday if you're in Australia, and like Friday for some of the rest of the world that are a day behind. The future's looking pretty good. You know, nice and sunny, even though it's the middle of winter over here in Oz and probably right in the middle of summer for everybody on the other side of the globe. How we doing? Hi. I need to check. So I think I'm live on YouTube, but this is all very like... I'm still kind of in testing mode for streaming, so I kind of need to go and check if I'm live on Twitch as well. Please bear with me while I just get my... okay, no, I'm live on both. Cool. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube. We are streaming away. I think, yes. Good. Happy day, happy Friday, happy weekend all. I'm Ben. This is AI Engineering. We are here to hopefully help a couple of people learn some AI goodness. So I've got a couple of things I wanted to talk through today on today's stream. I'm streaming a lot later than I normally would because I am still like right in the middle of setting up and testing stuff. For instance, I've got a new camera, so I should be like a hell of a lot clearer. I noticed my camera that I had from a few years ago was like an older one. I had a Logitech C920 Pro, and that was C920, just a C920, which was like a 1080p camera. It's a bit dated now, doesn't have the brightest, the biggest sensor, and so it doesn't handle low light or highlight conditions very well, which this one should. Jury's out. I think it looks a lot better so far. The cool things that you get with the new cams as well include things like AI tracking. So I can put my hand up and then it does some gesture tracking. Then if I move, it can actually follow. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? And it's not just like a zoom follow. It actually does like a full on, like the camera rotates in position, which is pretty cool. Very cool. And then you can turn it off with another hand gesture. You can also do some cool things. You can do an L sign, and then I think moving your hand up or down will zoom it. Isn't that cool? I don't know. Look at that. You can get like a full close up. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So let me get it to like a good level of zoom. Okay, cool. I think we're set up. Okay, let me just let me play around with this and just make it the right level of zoom. Cool. I'm just gonna zoom this in. I'm gonna try and zoom it in. There we go. Zoom, and then we'll do it over and up. Yay! I'm learning so much throughout this streaming process. I'm gonna talk maybe a little bit about just the overall streaming setup, the kind of what I've been learning this week, what things are surprising or interesting or that I'm getting exposure to, thoughts about kind of like content creation in general, and then I'll get into the actual bits that I wanted to show you, because I do want to show everyone here, not that anyone is here, but if anyone were here, I would want to show you what it looks, how you kind of create your first web app presentation. Speaking of which, actually, On my Twitch stream, I want to change my title. Manage stream. Give me a second. Pop out activity feeds. This one. Edit stream info. This one. Hello world. AI presentations. And GPT5.6 Sol. Tests. Yes. Excellent. Gemini development. And we want to add a tag. GPT 5.6. Oh, okay. GPT5.6, and then we'll also do Codex, and we'll do ChatGPT. Okay. Oh, okay, I can only use 10 tags. That's fine. Benchmarking. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Okay, cool. I think my stream title is updated. Yeah, so I wanted to talk first a little bit about the streaming experience so far, and also video editing and all of that fun stuff, because I've finally got like a short published, which is a sad effort after like a whole week. But man, it took a lot longer than I thought it would, because there's a lot of new content in it for me. This whole week and this whole kind of streaming experiment that I'm going to be doing for, you know, the next 6 months is me going from complete scratch, never having streamed or done any video content before, to figuring out all of the steps involved and the whole journey for myself. So I want to also use these streams as a bit of like documentation on what that process looks like, and how long it takes me to learn the different steps, and what I find hard, and then what things I optimize throughout that process. So that's what I'll start talking through. Streaming. Did my first 2 streams on Monday and Tuesday. This is now my 3rd stream. Streaming is surprisingly tiring, I find. I think being on camera, having stuff to say all the time, keeping an eye on chat and keeping an eye on the different things, especially starting out streaming on multiple platforms, which isn't easily supported with OBS Studio. You have to like add a plugin and do a bit of configuration. Getting that set up very quickly was kind of hard. And so I haven't been doing it well so far. I've been kind of figuring it out as I go along, including recording. So the very first stream I did, I wasn't actually separately recording my camera and my desktop. I was just recording my like whole stream. And so if I wanted to show my face in a clip or a short, I have to get the full stream and crop it down to the clip and then include it. And so I've got like 140p, like a tiny little image being included in shorts, which is interesting. Interesting, to say the least. I think also content-wise, going into my first 2 streams, I had like a vague idea about what I wanted to talk through, but I hadn't really done any content planning. So as things as I started talking through stuff, I was figuring it out as I was going along, and I didn't have a nice series of progressions to go through or like content in my mind that I wanted to talk through. So making it up on the spot is kind of what I want to do on streams, but I think I made it like unnecessarily hard by not having any ideas or anything that I wanted to like talk through apart from a very, very rough draft. So I think I'll do a little bit more planning going forward. The big thing that took me actually a lot longer was video editing. I used CapCut for the first time and did video editing for a short for the first time. And that is an entire world, right? Like that is a whole different like ball game of thinking about content and the kind of narrative that you want to tell, and the sequence of, you know, the story progression from like how you hook someone's attention to editing the transitions to the voice to editing the video behind it and what you can actually do. And if you wanted to do specific things in your short, actually possibly editing in screenshots rather than the raw video feed. Very interesting. And I'm still having to work through that. I'm kind of doing a stream now just as a short one to test out the setup and my kind of multi-stream setup across YouTube and Twitch, test out my new camera, test out GPT 5.6, which came out today. and do a hopefully more actual beginner friendly AI piece of content. So that's what I wanted to start with after I do my little stream narrative. And then just test out that the setup kind of works. I think it'll get like a lot smoother over the course of the next week as I do streaming more regularly and I get more used to the, being on camera and presenting and streaming. But I'm kind of happy to be streaming with like no viewers at the moment, just while I like get my bearings and like figure out the overall process. So that's what I've been up to this week. Getting set up, figuring it out. If you watch my like only other previously recorded full stream, you'll notice that one, hopefully the camera quality is like loads better, but two, my perspective is a bit different and hopefully the lighting is a bit better because I shifted my desk around 45 degrees so the light actually hits me full on. Again, things that you don't think of until you do a stream and you look at the footage and you figure out, oh, why do I not look very well lit? And you work out, one, your camera's quite old and you haven't upgraded that for a long time and the technology has moved along a lot in the past years. And two, lighting is important for filming. I mean, it's obvious, but then exactly how you can do that when you've got like a whole lot of natural light, but you don't want to have high contrast on your face. Very interesting. So I've spent the morning switching my desk around, getting it like 45 degrees against the windows I've got in this room so that it can kind of hit me at the right angle. And yeah, that's been my week of setup. The shorts editing, it's not just a new headspace and a new set of tools, but it's inherent. Like if you do video editing, it's just slow. Like it just takes a long time to think about the transitions and think about what you want to do. And so I think you'll spend up to a couple of hours editing a video, or maybe like a day or two. And then whatever you can do in that time, that's what you'd publish, right? And if you're very good at it, you can publish stuff that's much higher quality. And if you're not very good at it, you're like, screw it. So my first short was meant to be 60 seconds and ended up at like 4 minutes. And I had to cut it down to like 3 minutes. And even then, that's still not a short, right? If you're focusing on a short, you got to get it down to like 45, 60 seconds. So I'm going to have to work out how to either talk a lot faster on stream or cut a lot more aggressively from the content I do have. All in all, very interesting. Very interesting, this streaming business, and we're going to get a lot deeper into it. But that's what's been happening from a streaming perspective. I'm not planning on streaming for super long today. I'm thinking maybe like an hour tops with testing some of the different things. That's probably what's in the cards. But I will turn off gestures for now. Because I keep on flicking between different, if I put my hand up like this, which I do constantly, that turns on AI tracking on this camera. And so I'm just gonna like massage this a little bit and get it a bit lower. If we have anyone in the chats at any point, please, jump in and say hi. I'm not expecting anybody to, watch, but if they do, that's great. I think actually, while I don't have any viewers right now, I think I might do one thing. I might try and get my audience participation, if that's a thing that I can get. Stream health. Stream health is fine. Stream preview is not something I want. That's good though. Collaboration. No, what I want. Activity feed. I wanted to see if I could get a view of like edit stream panels. Yeah, I want to see if I can get a number of people in the chat, just so I know if people have actually joined or not. I don't think I can. Me. All good. All good. That's fine. We'll leave it like that for now. Okay. So, hello world. Hi chat. Hi everybody. This is Ben. I'm AI Bengineering. And I want to start all of these streams with some kind of like fun some fun visuals to start with and just to get my like setup correct. And I wanted to start all of my streams basically aimed at beginners. So this first part of the stream is going to be intended for people that have never done coding before or have not used AI to create anything, right? Specifically, if I switch back to this, if you are still making presentations in 2026 in PowerPoint, not acceptable. Unacceptable. Let me show you how you should be doing it. Let me show you how you should be making PowerPoint presentations in 2026. Let me show you how you should make web presentations in 2026, right? So if you've never created something with AI before, actually, more this is the narrative. You want to go to Bali, you got 5 mates, you need to talk them into doing it. How are you going to do that? We're going to use AI, we're not going to use PowerPoint, and we're going to do this in a very short amount of time. Whip out your phone, and you're going to go to Gemini, google.gemini.com up here, right? You're going to go to this on your phone. Oh, let me drag this out of the way. You're going to go to gemini.google.com/app. You're going to go on, you're going to press plus, and you're going to click on Canvas. And you can do this on your mobile phone for free or on a web browser. Doesn't matter. And you just describe what you want to do. Turn on voice, and you say, well, we'll turn on voice here. You're going to click on the microphone, and you're going to say, oh, let me get the sequence right. You're going to click on the microphone, and you're going to say, I want to convince my mates to go to Bali. I've got 5 mates. Can you make a web presentation? That's it. That's all you're going to do. Now you're going to wait for a few minutes. It's going to cook. It's going to think. And then you're going to get your first ever AI created piece of media, not just text, but actual something that's got some visuals in like a minute. Easy. There is no excuse. If you've never created something with AI before, this is how you start. My mission is to try and get as many people to do this in Australia, in the world as possible, because it's so easy that you don't have an excuse other than not having done it before. That's it, right? And so if you won't come to the AI, I'm going to bring the AI to you. And then we just watch. That's it. That's the whole ethos. That's what we're doing here. Bali, group trip, Pritch. You see it's developing the app, getting it going. If you do this on a phone, it's going to do exactly the same thing. You don't even have to be signed in to Gemini. You know, I don't think you even have to have an account, but if you do have a Google account, you can do this for free very easily. What was that? 2 minutes? 2 minutes that took? How long did that take? We did this at, actually, I don't know how long that took. So, in under 2 minutes, just from talking to your phone, you now have the ultimate boys trip pitch. I'm not going to make this full screen because it doesn't go full screen. So here's the pitch. No more discussing on WhatsApp. 6 boys. We have the drive. Bali is calling. Let's actually do this. Luxury villa, private pool only, beach clubs, VIP sunbeds, ATVs and waterfalls. Oh, interesting. We can put the names. Who is coming? We're going to go with this set of this set of people, but you know, we've actually got like a whole interactive role assignments for the 6 people that were going. Me, the host, Dave, the DJ, Sarah forgot my passport as a guy, Alex, the budget whore, Chris, the villa VIP, and Marcus, who's the ATV crash dummy. So we can make it personalized. We're doing it all. VIP beach clubs, private mansion living, and muddy ATVs and rafting. The math, 7 nights, high-end luxury villa, total individual package would be $1,700 with daily food, drink, and club per budget. If you want to increase the budget to live like a king, if you want like a more affordable like villa, you want to reduce things, you want to go for less nights, you can drag this around to get like a bit of an estimate. Don't necessarily trust the math firsthand. Like this is just Gemini spitballing. You'd probably want to build it out a little bit more. But for 2 minutes of work, that's a pretty good start. The best thing about being able to like create this stuff with AI is then you can just riff on it. You can say, I don't want to have to configure the names. Take them out of it. Let's just make it generic. And also, can you include some links for booking from the pricing page? And then away you go. Now, while that's building, hey, welcome to the chat. It's Devo. Would I be interested in checking out your web app? Yes, possibly, but maybe a bit later on, and generally not on stream. Well, I mean, I can check it out, and then as long as it's all safe for work and kosher, I can like show it on stream. But yes, absolutely. If you've got a link to share, drop it in, and I'll have a bit of a look after I kind of show how easy it is to make AI presentations. First part of this stream is going to be beginner friendly, as much as possible. But yes, I want to make sure that people that haven't coded before can make apps as easily as possible. So that's the idea, is to start with Gemini because you can do it on your phone. That's what I'm starting all of my streams with. Cool. We got another presentation. Bali 2026 Essential 6, the ultimate boys trip pitch. Let's do it again. Generic, smooth, and also it crashes. Amazing. Let's give it a refresh. And no, it messed it up. Better Discord. Need some eyes on it. Interesting. I feel like competing with Discord's a hell of a tall order because they've kind of been like the kings for a long time for a pretty good reason. There is things that are janky about it, but that's a hell of a fish to go after, a big fish to go after if you want to take on Discord. I mean, before I check it out, regardless of like where you're at and how it looks, like good luck, Godspeed, but also that's a hell of a mission. Alrighty. So if your presentation doesn't work out, we just tell it, hey, it doesn't show up, like we click the next slide button and it disappears, fix it. That's all you need to do to fix these vibe-coded presentations in Gemini. You can just complain to it, and this thing should do a reasonably good job of going through and figuring out what's wrong and addressing it on the spot. And hopefully we get a better presentation. But also, for the purposes of like a short pitch, you kind of want this to work in like a one shot to get it working in 2 minutes. It's not too bad doing a couple of like riffs on like a very first take on this though. Uncorded is self-hosted and you vibe code your community. Vibe code your community? What do you mean you vibe code your community? I invent my community with vibe coding? I vibe code personalities that then use Discord? Interesting. I'm gonna have to look at this after I get through my little welcome to AI Bali. But sounds interesting. My favorite thing about, and this is like, my general mission is everyone should have at least tried creating something with AI, and then how much time you spend on it is like whether you actually care or want to do more. But I think everyone should at least have created something with AI. So I think if you've used coding agents locally, you're already kind of in the, you know what you're doing and you can kind of go from there camp. I'm trying to get as many people from 0 to that before then people go from that to more, right? That's my that's what I've got in mind as the people that actually need like a bit of a hand getting vibe coded started. We'll see. All right. Ultimate boys trip pitch, take 3. Let's begin the pitch. Legendary 6. If we've got 6 people, we'll all play a role. We'll figure out what they are, but here's like a bit of a mix of the roles that people could play. Squad archetype. So you could say, right, you're the Ox King. You're on the hook for music. You got to make sure that we actually get on the plane. You got to make sure we don't spend too much or that we don't spend too little. You're making sure that our villa is going to be top notch. We're doing it all. VIP beach clubs, private mansion living, muddy ATVs and rafting. It's going to be a blast. Luxury split by 6. It has a bit of a breakdown here, and one of the things that we asked it to have a look at was actually to give us links to explore booking options. So if I click on flights, it'll take us to Skyscanner to look up flights for Bali, right? If I take us to villas, it'll do the same thing for Airbnb to have a look at a villa for Bali. And if I look at events, then we can kind of see what's on Klook, right? So you get a couple of booking options, but this is pretty basic because we're just doing it on the Gemini web app. Plan the schedule. What do we want to do, boys? Are we going ATV mud drag racing? Are we going to the Cliff Temple sunset, VIP sunbed so we can lounge by the pool? What are we doing? What do we want to? What are we interested in? And then you can get their votes and you can say, right, who's in? And this is the idea, is to get people to lock in. And then it gives you a hyperlink. Blob, HTTPS, this Goog. I have no idea what this is. Let's go to a strange errored link. Okay, excellent. So a couple of rough edges, but the fact is you got a presentation in 2 minutes. Can't complain. From that, then you can riff on it, and then you can keep talking to Gemini to change slides or flip it around or tell the story that you actually want. But if you're still messing about dragging boxes around on PowerPoint to do, to get a point across, whether that's in uni or work or convincing your mates to go on a holiday, catch up. It's 2026. It's time to get your head out of the mud and figure out what AI can actually do for you. Okay, so that's how easy it is to start vibe coding. Let's say you wanted to take it a step further, though, right? You've got this. You've got some start point, and you start running into the limitations, and it starts being slower or not doing exactly what you want it to do, or you start hitting limits in this web app, in Gemini on your phone or in a web browser. Next thing that you're actually going to do is take this, put it in. Take it and move it into an actual coding agent. So that's what we'll go through next. But I'm going to pause here in terms of showing off the Bali group trip pitch. And I want to have a look at this. I want to have a look at Uncorded because my chatter is very interested in it. All right, let's check it out. I'm going to copy this and have a look first off screen so that you're not sending me all sorts of crazy content. No, not this. Give me a sec. Alrighty. Nice landing page. Looks very Discord-y. Local software becomes something your people can use. So it's like a self-hosted Discord. Interesting that you've got. That's interesting. Why did you've got releases published on GitHub, but you haven't got the source code published on GitHub because you want to monetize it at some point, or you want the code base to be public? Interesting. Interesting. So it's like a more hackable open source like Discord. Discord has to run a whole bunch of voice servers, but I guess if Uncorded is running it locally, you're running the voice server or the bit like, yeah, you're like hosting it locally and then getting people to connect to it. I feel like my assessment would be because you can already do plugins with Discord, but then you don't have to worry about like hosting all of the application and chat and like kind of server side stuff, but you can still run bots, you can still run plugins, you can still integrate into Discord as a platform. I guess you can't? Discord, as in like you can't extend the UI. Right. So it's like you can't like do OBS style plugins where you're actually like changing the UI interface around it, or like extra things. I know you can do bots and plugins and stuff. Oh, so not plugins, but like you can do integrations. Like you can do music bots and things that, you know, respond and do auto mod in the chat, but you're not going to be necessarily doing like full on applications. I know people do like games and stuff, but I guess that's the key as a technical person that has been using Discord for a long time and still doesn't know like many of the features because I haven't run Discord servers or anything. That's probably what I'd default to. Like, this is very Discord adjacent. What's it giving you on top of Discord, right? And so I think the problem statement, if you're already like, oh man, it's really annoying that you can't put plugins into Discord and this is solving that problem, and that's already like your problem space, that's what you're pandering to, but you're pandering to a very specific niche market. I'm not even aware of the problem because I haven't run into it. And so if it was for something like someone like me, I'd be like, I need to be aware of the problem that I haven't run into yet on Discord to justify why I'd like use, you know, another platform for something that's the, you know, that's solving it in a different way, right? It's basically like, why this instead of Discord? Which I think you've spoken to the solution about it. I don't know if you can like mention Discord at all. I think you could mention it like generally, like, yeah, like competitor chat streaming applications or whatever, like competitor community voice applications don't allow XYZ, uncorded, you know, unlocks you from that, right? A Steam for web apps. If you want to build a marketplace for web apps, that's a bit different from like a Discord competitor, right? Like, I don't know. I think I'd need to use it to appreciate it. I think like it is a lot nicer in the sense that it's configurable in the same way that like OBS Studio is. And so if it's becoming like an open source OBS Studio, like Discord competitor where you can actually have the like configurability and like setup stuff, nice. But I don't have a need for it right now. Like personally, it's not something that I would use right now. But I like the page. It's quite nice. Again, very good example of like marketing, of you know, having like a video demo and showing the value proposition like directly. You know, picture says 1,000 words, video says 1,000 more. And so I think it's nice then showing like what you can do. What you can do in the app and how you can like customize it and what you can put on it. I think that's quite nice. But I think, yeah, I don't appreciate the problem it's solving that I would run into if I was just using existing tech right now. Very cool though. Very nice. And again, like getting people to use software and like making it popular is like a hell of a mission. So oh, it's not just a video, it's an actual like live web app that you can use and click around in and get. I see. Gotcha. Workspaces. Pick a channel or drag one into the canvas. Oh, nice. That's cool. Titles, link, server settings, welcome blurb. You account, feedback. Pin your first item. And the default workspace might have a couple of channels, a voice channel. Interesting. Very Discordy. again, I still think the main thing I try and like jump on is what problem you're trying to solve. You know, what problem are you trying to solve? Like, what problem that people run into does this solve better than anything else on the market? That's the hook, right? But like, you've already done like a phenomenal amount of work. Like, keep going with it, right? Very, very cool. Okay, I'm gonna jump back to basically getting. So if we create a web app, so like let's say we've created a presentation, but we want to like take it a bit further, or you know, you want to start getting a bit more serious about it rather than just like, oh wow, look, I can create something that's pretty. This is where we go into coding apps. And if you've never used a coding app, believe me, you want to try it at least once. Best way to do this is you'll want to go to chatgpt.com and you'll want to, actually, no, you don't actually. What do you want to go to? Images, sites, ChatGPT app. You want to Google ChatGPT app and you want to download ChatGPT. I've already got it. So you click Windows, you go and install it, sign in, and then you're going to be greeted with ChatGPT. Now we're going to turn on ChatGPT Codex because ChatGPT work is brand new and I don't actually know what it does. But we're going to go ChatGPT Codex. Even if you're not a developer, just to get started, we're creating your first project, right? And because we already have some code and we want to continue on with it, but within a more powerful application, sure. We are going to take the code here. If I click on code back in Gemini, I'm going to take all of this, Control A, Control C, I'm going to paste it into here. And we're going to say, can you do more research and give me actual holiday costs for this presentation? That's what we're going to do, right? We're going to take a kind of presentation on, that we've made in a Gemini web app, but we're now going to use the power of ChatGPT, the app, to do even more with this. And we're still leaving it as a web app because you can do everything in web, okay? So we put it in ChatGPT, we say, go and make it better, do some more research, get actual costs. We want this simple presentation to turn into a full actual, plan, like an end-to-end plan for the boys. And then we might even give it a follow-up task while it's thinking about this. Can you make it less cringy? We've got this really positioned around trying to, give people roles and give them work. We just want to convince them into what it would be like to go on this vacation. So, make it a bit more, make it pop more. And so we're going to buffer up some tasks on top of what we've already done. That's it. You just talk to it, you tell it what you want to do, and you leave all of the work to AI, right? In the space of downloading a program and using Gemini for free and then giving this a go, which I think you can either get it for free or you can get 1 month free often with ChatGPT Plus. You would have made like one slide if you were making a PowerPoint presentation in an app or using a program, right? You've got to drag the things around, you got to get a background, you got to think about how it works. Leave it to AI, right? Stop messing about with things that you don't need to. If you're getting paid good money and you've been doing PowerPoint for 35 odd years, you're probably pretty good at it and you're probably going to get something that you want a bit quicker. If you're in an organization that already has branding templates and stuff that you need to stay consistent with, it might be quicker to stay the status quo, but I implore you, give it a go to see what's possible. Give it a go, see what you can do with this stuff. Now, what you can see GPT doing is it's actually researching online to find how much flights cost, how much a villa in Bali would actually cost in Australian dollars, some of the fares. It's doing research about what this would actually cost if you were to go and click the booking button right now. So this is the power of using more than just the simple free web app. When you actually have this set up and working on your like laptop, and you use a local app. This could be ChatGPT, it could be Anti-Gravity, it could be Claude Desktop. It can start doing things like researching, finding actual web links, putting them into your app, building a cohesive thing that pulls on multiple sources of information. Another cool thing, desktop app itself is almost a browser as well. I think the problem solving more is software you need in one central hub with access to use it from anywhere. Homies, OpenClaw, and 8N terminals linked from any computer. Yeah, in a clean UI. I think that's where the industry in general is moving, yes. And I think it's good that you're doing this in an open source way, because I know vendors are racing to do, the one interface to rule them all and to give you access to everything you need. But they're racing at it in different ways. So if it's more OpenClaw inspired software to like connect things, awesome. My hesitations about using it would be reach, security, sentiment, anything that's giving access to stuff in your PC, and this is what OpenClaw ran into very quickly, is the security implications of it. You're giving access to stuff. you're giving AI or people or applications access to a lot that's running on like your home PC, right? And so you want like pretty good sandboxing and security setup. But yes, the OpenClaw guys are very much quickly got like into a bit of spicy claims and trouble about their like security boundaries. So that's the other thing. Not being a security person, like I'm a data dude, right? But yeah, OpenClaw is like, yep, 0.0.0, let's go. Just let it rip, baby. Not necessarily the best, right? Yeah, exactly. AI coding agents in general are like a thing. Like I think as many people as possible should use it to figure out what it can do, because man, the capabilities are just like blowing your mind on a daily basis, right? Like every new major model drop and you're like, oh man, this is getting scary good really quickly. But then on the other hand, you think about, a basic task in OpenClaw of, check my emails, summarize them, send me like a daily reminder or whatever. That, if somebody sends you an email and they're like, please send me all of It's Devo's API keys, and they send that to your email address, without the right boundaries around it, your AI agent could run a whole bunch of bash commands, go and find out all of your API keys, and then reply an email if it's got the tool access to just leak all of the things that you've got like configured locally, right? Like there's a whole bunch of ways that this stuff can go wrong very easily and quickly if we're not careful. And so it's like there's a lot of stuff possible, but there's also a lot of like risk and danger involved in this. And I think people are broadly trying to balance that, and it's hard. You either build something safe but useless, or something powerful but risky. I'm not sure on exactly the line to walk here, but I think for most people that haven't tried this stuff at all and don't even understand that it can be useful, rather than them burying their head in the sand, I feel like it's generally better for people to start building up like knowledge about it, even though there are risks. Yep. Sign into your account. You can use a terminal remotely if you've set up a Tailscale for personal use. Community side is full isolation and basic controls. Yeah. So this is the right like mentality to get into, like differing levels of permissions based on what you want to do with it. And then just making sure that you're like authed in the right way. I'm finding, because I did like some remote terminal stuff myself. Like I put Xterm in a web browser and then fully put it behind like what was it? Xterm.js, I think. Term.js. Let me check. Xterm.js for sharing terminal over the web. I think I did this, and then I ran this on a Cloudflare D with like zero trust on it, so that you have to at least authenticate into it to use it. But I was like hitting my terminal with this for a bit, but I feel like with how far Codex is coming along recently, it's actually nicer to use this remotely, or Claude mobile remotely to have the same level of access, because you don't actually need a terminal for a lot of things. I love a terminal, but even loving a terminal, it's just, you get a better, more consistent experience using actual desktop apps, right? And because you're kind of needing to pay for AI somehow, and if you're getting the desktops without having to pay extra money for the desktop app privilege anyway, I don't know. Accessing terminals directly on my phone, I can get it, but I feel like it's less sensible as these apps develop, and they are being built really quickly. Like if you haven't used them in the past 2-3 months, give it a go. But, you know, you'll never convince anybody not to use technology that they're very comfortable with and like they like, you know. I think there is a space for all apps for everyone. Everyone can be happy. Yay. You know, you feel, I don't know. I just find it fascinating. Updated the presentation with researched costs. This took a lot longer. This took 10 minutes to actually do this in ChatGPT using GPT5.6. Used published prices from Qantas, from a bunch of websites online. It's actually done its research like you would to figure out how much this thing is going to cost. It's used the RBA exchange rate to actually translate barley prices into Australian dollars. And it reckons approximately $3,000 for a 7-night October to December 2026 barley holiday. Fascinating. If you haven't used AI within the past 2-3 months for like visual stuff, like give it another go. The new models that they've been releasing this year have been progressing so incredibly quickly that like it's a world of difference today as opposed to 2 months ago, as opposed to 4 months ago. This stuff is getting better month on month. And so if you try and replicate exactly the same thing I'm doing here in 3 months, 6 months, guarantee it's going to be like wildly different, wildly better, which is kind of why I want everybody to like try it out, see where it's at now and see how it can help them in its current state, because it's already come like a very long way and it's in the realms of being just generally useful for everyone, compared to, you know, you see it like kind of evolve and get better over time. I'll recut the deck and the experience itself. Villa mornings, beach clubs, food adventure in a believable week, then remove the assigned crew roles, hype meter, voting gimmick, and exaggerated sales copy. I'm using the presentation workflow again. When we built it in Gemini, the best thing about Gemini is that 1, it's free. 2, you can use it from your phone and you can actually get something that works. That's why I'd always start with that. The second you actually want to go a little bit further and you start finding value in it, immediately switch to a desktop app. ChatGPT on the desktop is going to be like miles better in every possible way for this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna let this finish. And to compare what you get for, you know, ChatGPT Plus in Codex, let's compare it against Fable 5 and see what it could do with the same starting prompt, right? I'm gonna let it cook from the beginning though. I'm gonna say, I want to convince my mate, can you make a web presentation? So we're gonna make a completely new session here. I'm gonna leave this in PowerPoint and I'm gonna leave it on Fable 5 high, do research on the real prices and cost. And we're gonna hopefully blow our entire Fable 5 budget in one go. I'm gonna move this slightly out of the way. The one thing I am doing in Fable is I'm choosing auto for this, enable auto mode, just so that it doesn't ask us all the time to do research and to actually like create our presentation. But we're just gonna click that and go. You'll notice I'm in code mode and I started a new session and I created a little folder for this to run in on our computer. Apart from that, that's all. Nothing fancy. We just let it run. We let it cook and we see where it ends up. That's the goal. Where would you be flying from? Australia. And this is the great thing about Claude. It starts, being smarter and asking you questions. We're coming from Australia. Let's go for a week. Do you want mid-range villa life? Yep, it sounds like the plan. And then off it goes. It starts doing some research. And so this is the great thing about AI is you don't need to learn a lot. You just need to learn to install it and set it up and kick it off. You're busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. And so if you can use some kind of a tool without actually having to spend that much time on it and you still get something good out of it, what more can you ask for? So we're letting GPT work away. We're letting Claude work away. Both doing the research that you wouldn't want to have to do if you were going on a holiday. It's Devo. The hardest thing about this is streaming, but then trying to cut it into shorts. I've made one short so far and I've streamed for 3 days so far. And so all of this stuff is like brand new to me. And my God, actually taking like an hour or two of content and then trying to fit like a bunch of these storylines into like 40 seconds, 30 seconds, this is going to be like a whole mission. Other than what subscriptions do I pay for? Like just general subscriptions? Like outside of AI, like Netflix and Crunchyroll and stuff? Is that what you mean? In terms of like AI subscriptions, like for this channel, I've got Claude and GPT Plus at the moment. Outside of AI, I believe I've got Prime because it's just very handy being able to like order stuff and get stuff delivered very quickly. For instance, like this webcam, which I got within a day. Thank you, Amazon, for that, and for good prices. You get other stuff too, like Prime Video and a whole bunch of bundled stuff. I also kind of like Google subscriptions because they have YouTube Premium often included, which is good not to have ads all the time, but also extra drive storage so that you can store more stuff in Google Drive. And they, with the AI subscriptions, that actually gives you Gemini Pro, which is good for a whole bunch of purposes. Like Nano Banana is phenomenal. Lyria is actually pretty good for like making music. For what else have I got? I think Netflix still and Crunchyroll, which reflects some of my interests and hobbies. Outside of that, I feel like kind of the good subscriptions, the ones that are super subscriptions, right? Like I don't have a Spotify subscription because you get it with YouTube Music, and so it's all bundled with Google. And I don't have I don't think I have many other subscriptions. And apart from that, it's like bills, but I don't think they're the original subscriptions, like your electricity. That's a hell of a subscription. Hard to cancel that one. Yeah, I think that's basically it. I don't have any Uber subscriptions or DoorDash. I feel like you don't need any more excuses to not cook at home or like just order food for yourself. I don't know. What about you? Like, is that kind of like a similar list to yourself? Do you have like food subscriptions or different rationale? I'm always curious to hear. Ooh, hey. I'm gonna have to talk through these updated presentations in a sec. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you've got like a set of subscriptions that you'd swear by as well. Hey, welcome to YouTube as well. Oh no, I had one view. one view on YouTube, because right now I'm an unknown entity. We're starting out. That's the way I like it, right? You gotta start small and humble, and hopefully do some useful thing, and then like build out your kind of like your style and your brand, and then eventually maybe that's useful to people. Hopefully. All right. While I'm waiting to hear about Devo subscriptions, I'm gonna go through where we got to with our ChatGPT app. So let's see what ChatGPT did with our presentation in terms of making it better. Starting with a pretty simple start point, it has given us the same style that we started with, but let's see what we've had it turn into. See what the weeks look like. Oh, beautiful. Pool, breakfast, nowhere urgent to be, 6 bedrooms, 7 night, 1 home base. See holiday, not an itinerary marathon. Beach club afternoons, villa time that counts, aboard ATVs and rafting. So it's kind of giving you the idea of, what's actually going to be like to be in Bali and go on a holiday there. Puts you in the mood. We get a $3,001 each before the buffer, 7 nights for 6 adults, flying Sydney to Bali and Qantas 12 October to 6 December fare window. That's all. Wait, that's as in like within that period. Gotcha. Economy fares for departures this time, and so you get the breakdown of return flights, and this is done research now, so this should actually be legit if you're going on a holiday to Bali from Oz. Food and drinks per person per week, return flights, 6-bedroom villa in Louis, which is Louis? Which is up on the north of let's open this in maps. Let's find out where Louis is. Jakarta? No. Villa Louis, I see. That's kind of like there. Is that right? Villa Louis, 6-bedroom Villa Louis, something like that. Let's say that it's around there. So you're talking about a beach holiday for that price, $1,000 per person for 7 nights. Food, drinks, and then you get like a nice breakdown. And then if you wanted to get the actual source prices, this is now linked to the actual. Okay, here you could go to the Qantas website and actually then just go and buy it. So it's done all of the work and research for you. It's even got links to the websites that GPT was able to find. Then you can kind of verify that the prices make sense and work. Airport pickup, food by the pool, enjoy the villa, do a proper day out in the wood, beach lunch and sunset, keep the ending loose. So you figure out what you want to do by the end of it. So it gives you an itinerary, gives you 7 nights, 6 people. Choose the week, then book it properly. And it's saying, let's do it. Here's all of the research done. Let's just go. Let's go to Bali. And so it takes all of the effort out of like figuring it out and then packages it up into a nice presentation for you. Gorgeous, right? If you compare this with what we did in Fable, let's do this now. So, you can do this in ChatGPT. You could spend a bit more money and do it in Claude. This is what we got for a similar thing in Claude. Bali this year, all 6 of us, and so Fable's really leaned into trying to convince you of doing it. 6.5 hours to fly, plus 2 hours time difference, so you're not going to have jet lag. Around $1,500 all in for the whole week. So this says it's about half the price of what GPT said it was, interestingly. Most importantly, because we're convincing the boys to go on a trip, Claude said $1.50, a bintang from the mini-mart, $1.50 Australian dollars. And if you're used to getting a pint for $10 at the pub, this is like a world of difference. We go down Sydney to Denpasar, return from $3.94 with Jetstar, not Qantas. And so Fable's figured out if you're going to Bali from Australia, you're probably pretty happy to fly Jetstar for 6 hours. Book 40 days out, dodge school holidays, everyone lands under $500. Qantas flies direct too if anyone's feeling fancy. Awesome. Get a private villa with a pool in Canggu, $35 a night each. Crazy. Your money is a superpower there. Lower cost of living, food can be a lot cheaper. You can go out for a smoothie bowl for a lot cheaper. Having beers, we don't pay the Australian alcohol sales tax in the same way in Bali. And so, it's put all of these things together in a really easy to consume format. I feel like Fable's actually done a better job of convincing you and saying this is how much it's going to cost. And especially, right, perspective check, 7 days in Bali, same as 3 nights in Byron Airbnb, no pool, right? You get surfing, manta rays, and waterfalls and temples in Bali. You get 2 big nights out in Sydney. Eat out every single meal in Bali, a few months of rent, which is gone anyway. So who's in? Pretty good if you're trying to convince your mates to go on a holiday. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. But that's what you get for Fable, which is more expensive, and that's kind of the best that AI could do with zero context at this point. I'm pretty happy with that. So at this point, I've been streaming for a bit now. I think I'm going to change this for beginners and go a bit beyond beginner information, and we're going to go into some more benchmarking for AI users. So okay, so GPT 5.6 came out yesterday. A lot of people are saying it's very good. A lot of people are saying it's close to Fable. We, on Monday, Tuesday this week, actually did some benchmarking of Fable 5 with a couple of different test prompts. Pretty simple stuff like creating web apps for different purposes, but given GPT 5.6 is rumored to be pretty good, I thought maybe I could rerun it on some of the things that we did on Monday, Tuesday this week, and then maybe do another comparison on anything, right? Something fun to see how it goes on like a new problem. We kind of did a version of this at the moment with a Bali pitch deck, but we did kind of hamstring GPT with only giving it an existing web page to riff off, so we didn't get to see its design style. So I'm going to actually give it the same prompts I started with for 2 things. 1, Japan trip. We did a Japan trip itinerary. You can tell very holiday themed. Must be on my mind, but I think enough people go on holidays that it's one of those interesting things that you can use AI for. Yo, how we doing, Mers99? What's going on? Thanks for dropping into the chat. Hey, buddy. Welcome to the chat. I'm testing out GPT 5.6 Soul, which dropped yesterday. We're going to see how it goes. Please feel free to come and heckle me. I'm also testing out this new webcam I got. Check it out. Check it out. Wait. I'm going to show you. Look at this. So if I turn on hand gestures, you can check out hand gestures. Look, so I can put my hand up, and then that turns it onto AI tracking. And then look at this. If I stand up, it can follow me, and it can move around the room. Whoa! Look at that! Look at that! Whoa! Isn't that cool? And then you can also do this. You can do an L on your forehead. Like you're a bit of a loser, but then you can use your hand to zoom in or out. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait, no, I need to get it to flash. There we go. What? Look at that. Isn't that crazy? What? All right, then I'll pause it there. So our light's a bit better. We've got a new webcam. We're ready to go. We're ready to stream. We're doing it. We're doing it, fam. All right, cool. I'm going to turn off my AI tracking now too. Look at that. Crazy. All right. What am I doing? GPT 5.6 came out yesterday. Yesterday, I think 2 days ago. Thursday? Friday. Yesterday for me. It hasn't been out for long, so I wanted to test it against what I built the other day, which was an itinerary for Japan, We had this one from GPT 5.5 high, and so we wanted to beat this, right? And if you compare I did this comparison, the itinerary is kind of worse. It does have morning, afternoon, and evening, but it's just not as pretty. while this had like clickable things and filters and all of this stuff. And it was, you know, Fable 5 was like, Fable 5 slapped nearly as hard as my webcam does. So we're going to do ChatGPT, new task, and I'm just going to give it the exact same prompt that we gave it to before. I'm just going to say that. Full access, 5.6. Let's put it on ultra, or let's put it on smart. Let's put it on extra high, because that's, I think, you know, if you're doing a prompt and you want it to actually have it run and not like destroy all of your credits, we'll just do it with this. So I'm going to kick that off. While that's running, I'm also just going to keep an eye on my usage. We've got plenty left. We're also going to do our second thing while that's running in parallel, and we're going to make it rebuild the visualizer. So we also made like a music visualizer, not this one. That's the Claude one, and it's also not good if you've got epilepsy. This one is the Fable one. This one is the GPT one. The GPT one still kind of looks cool, but it's kind of crap. Like you look at this thing and it's got like a worse UI. It doesn't have any different like visualizations. It has some like controls that don't make a lot of sense. I mean, it's just not as good, you know? It can react to voice, which is kind of cool. And you can put files in and stuff, but it's just, I don't know. So like we want to give GPT 5.6 an actual, like, you know, a second chance, you know, let's see what Sol can do. And we did this in here, I think. There we go. So same prompt that we gave it to this. Let's do it again. 5.6 Sol extra high. Let's go. And then we'll compare the pair. We'll see how it goes. I did my little, you missed out, Mersey. We were making a presentation to convince the boys to go to Bali. That was my beginner web app to make today. And so we made, where'd it go? We made, all right, hear me out. We'll go back to the start. Bali, this year, 6 boys, let's go. 1 week, private villa with a pool, beers that cost less than a bus fare. 6.5 hours flight, plus 2 hours, so we're not going to be jet lagged. $1,500 all in for the whole week, per person, flights included. $1.50 a beer. Pretty good, no? Actual flights, this is from Jetstar, and you can pay a little bit more if you're feeling fancy and want to go via Qantas and get a direct flight. May, June, cheapest months to fly, and it's also the dry season. You know, private villa with a pool in Canggu, $35 a night. Can't argue with that. $245 a week, your share for all 7 nights, less than 1 Sydney hotel night. Your money is a superpower, good cheap food, you know, scooter rentals, not too much, so we can like rip around on scooters for the whole trip. It'll be a blast. 7 days, 0 boring ones. You know, we could do surfing on day 2. We could go to Nusa Penida and, you know, go snorkeling with the manta rays, lounge by the pool, go and have our like sunglasses stolen by a monkey. Mate, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, no. Go and take care of the kids. Can't argue with that. Can you vibe code an app to take care of them instead though? I mean, maybe we can do that next stream. Maybe we can vibe code something to sort those children out. All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on how these itineraries are going, because I want to, you know, 5.6 Sol is apparently so damn good. I want to see it. I want to do something new as well. Like I feel like we need something a bit more visual. So I feel like we should do like a visualization of maybe some like kind of flight or like a 3D environment or a simulation, flying around some kind of a city. Let's do that. Can you create a nice interactive web flight simulation where we can fly around the Eiffel Tower in Paris and kind of see the environment? It should be pretty laid back and visually appealing. So we're going to give that to 5.6 Sol high, extra high, and we'll see how it goes with web visualizations. I'm not being overly prescriptive with this. I want to see, you know, what the model kind of like does as a default, like what it leans into. But this should be a good kind of test of its capabilities, right? So this is probably going to chew up the rest of our credits for this session, which is the whole point. And again, we're going to do the same thing with Claude. I'm going to open up a new little folder for it under where do we go? Under documents, under Claude, under 2026-07-11, Paris Flight Sim. Awesome. And we'll leave it on, again, auto mode, because we don't want to have to click yes, 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 yes to everything the AI wants to do. I just want to let it cook. Awesome, off it goes. Done. That's it. You know, it's that easy, right? It's not like I've done any fancy setup. I'm just telling it what I want to see. Vibe coding could never have been easier. Can you create a nice interactive web flight simulation where we can fly around the Eiffel Tower in Paris and kind of see the environment? Should be pretty laid back and visually appealing. So, as this cooks, we'll just keep an eye on how all of them are running. You'll notice that I'm on Windows rather than the glorious operating system that is Linux. So it's running PowerShell, which works. I feel it's command bash. Still trying to run bash. Apparently it can. Or maybe. Init. Interesting. I guess it's using PowerShell to run git bash to execute some of the bash scripts that it's wanting to run. Interesting. Anyway, I'm planning on doing a whole. I need to figure out how to do a proper lesson on this. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a presentation, a Excalidraw. I'm going to go to excalidraw.com and we're going to add a nice little whiteboard, right? So, never used AI, right? I need little icons. Can I get icons? Users. Architecture diagram components? Okay. So this is you. Well, actually, let's do this with emoji. Can I do this with emoji? There we go. Much better. Never used AI. Use ChatGPT. And we'll do this as a... Ooh. Ooh. We'll do this as... the... Like that. There we go. We're going to do AI viewers streamboo.com. Huh, boomer. No advertising in the chat. Yo. Use chat AI. I'm going to do this as that. I'm going to do this as... It made first web app. Made an app with AI. And we might do this with a couple of examples, like ChatGPT.com, Gemini.com, Gemini.google.com, or Claude.ai. Just ChatGPT.com, yeah? Yeah, good. All right. Made an app with AI. used coding AI app. Use coding AI app. We'll make this very happy. Do. King. Made app with desktop. Used desktop. Oh, used AI in desktop app. And this is going to be ChatGPT app. ChatGPT desktop. Anti-gravity, Google anti-gravity, or Claude desktop. So if can I align these? Can I distribute these and then distribute horizontally, and then we'll put these under here, here, here. There we go. And then we'll put this like this, and we'll put like this. So, four stages of AI with AI. Cool. And we'll make this 2026, July 2026. Awesome. And we'll make that bold. Oh, how do we make it bold? And then we'll make it, can I make it underlined? No, I don't think so. What the hell? All right, cool. One. And we'll change this again back to Excali font. 1, 2, 3. Stages of building. Alrighty, cool. So this is the mission, is to make as many people as possible. Oh, let's turn this back into that maybe. This is the mission, is to make as many people in this fourth box as possible, right? I'm going to assume that most people in the world are in one of these two camps. On average, if you look on the average across the population, you're in one of these two camps, right? Maybe like 90 to 95% of humans would be here, okay? I want to make that much lower, and I want to make this as much as possible. So rather than maybe 1% has made a little app with AI but never actually used a coding agent properly, I want to make this as high as possible. And let's maybe say that between these two things, that's 98%. Let's say 98%. Let's say 1% of people might have started with stuff, and 1% of people might have like actually used it. But to be fair, I feel like we could get better stats on it. So maybe let's remove that. I want as many people as possible to go from here to here, right? And so box number one, build your first thing. Box number 2, build it properly. Build your first thing properly. That's the mission statement, right? That's what I want to be doing. That's what I want as many people to be doing. Let's make both of these less like gross, maybe. Doop, 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 doop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Cool. So we did that this morning. Next up, we are going to do... Pick a visual direction for the Japan itinerary app. So Sol is creating a site for us. So it's creating a site that we could actually publish and share. All right. It's asking us what kind of design we want for our Japan itinerary app. And let's go to, it says recommended. I'm going to go with the recommendations for now. I'm just going to go and check because we want GPT 5.6 to build us versions of our other apps that we did before. Build and privately published Aura, Audio Reactive Visual Studio. It's already published it. Wow. Interesting. Okay. All right. AI Bengineering. Yep. Let's go in with our Bengineering account. Continue. Sure. Interesting. Okay. This looks a bit nicer. Can we hook it in with our mic? Allow visiting the site? Yep. Okay, so that's actually responding to our voice now. So this is GPT 5.6's audio visualizer. The idea is to be able to talk or to play a song or to stream maybe like the actual desktop if we were playing a game or something, and to have this like respond to it in real time, right? You can see automatically, right? I'll side by side compare this with the other GPT app. So I'm going to add this to, how do I do this? Add to new split view. And then this is added to the split view over here. Let's choose this one. There we go. So GPT 5.6 is on the left. GPT 5.5 is on the right? Automatically, GPT 5.6, our new one that just came out yesterday, a lot more bling on the screen. We've got like a full screen toggle so we can like blow it up to take up the screen, because if we wanted to use it as a DJ set, like it would look like that, much nicer. We can do our descriptions. I can put my little AI Bengineering text pulse in there, same as I can do with this one. Nice. And we actually get different scenes. So in the GPT 5.5 one, we had no scenes. We had just this visualization on the right. But in 5.6, we get halo, we get terrain. Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool. We get like rolling terrain. We get toggles, so we can like make it, higher energy, more responsive, or lower energy. Let's make that as high as possible. Put it at 100. We can make the motion higher. So we can say we want more default motion, or you can say you want it quite still, less energy. Interesting. And then we can change how reactive the different parts are. So you can see halo, very strong response once we've dialed all of these up. We can change the colors. Oh, we get an actual color toggle. Beautiful. If you look at what we had in GPT 5.5, our color toggle was like not great. Like we could change between 4 colors: amber, lagoon, mono. But even just clicking a button freezes the animation for a second. So it's not the greatest, not the best, honestly. That's quite nice though. Honestly, I'm pretty given. Okay, so this is like, I built the right one on Monday with GPT 5.5. That's the best that was out. And by Friday, we have the one on the left. This is what GPT 5.6 can do. Same prompt between both, like a week later. So this is a really nice, if you haven't seen any AI benchmarks, I'm assuming you have, but if you hadn't for some reason, this is a really nice visual representation of AI just getting better, right? We get more options, we get smoother visuals, we get more configurability, we just get a nicer app. And so the idea is, if the problem that this would solve is if you are a DJ or a music artist and you wanted to do some kind of a set and you wanted to have some, big full screen visualization behind you and plug it into your, mix deck or whatever, and kind of have it respond to the music that you're playing. you could do this in one prompt, throw this on full screen, turn off all of the bling. I don't know if it has like a hide clean output. There we go, clean output. Hide all of the bling, and then just have this responding to the beats. You can see now, if I stop talking, flat. But the second I talk, this is responding. That's goddamn, that's cool, right? Again, what, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I didn't even tell it that much. The prompt I used with this was ChatGPT's. I want you to build an audio visualizing application that we could use to power a music stream or a DJ set, or even just a stream as a background that can visualize audio and respond to music or text. Use whatever technology is going to be the most appropriate for this. If you must use web, use React and Tailwind as a base. Don't do it as a single HTML page. So I gave it a bit more technical detail behind how I wanted to approach it, but I think I could have just been a bit looser with saying, hey, make me a DJ visualizer, and I want to be able to respond to voice and also upload files. And then it would just do it, right? Phenomenal. The cool thing is, right, like it's built this, and unlike the other day, it's automatic. Like they've upgraded the ChatGPT app at the same time. And so if you wanted to share this, right, let's say I wanted to share this with the chat and you wanted to have a play with this yourself, we can do that. So I can go, I believe, into the site itself. So this gives us a web URL, Aura Signal Studio Watch AI Bengineering l.chatgpt.site. So it actually gives us a URL. And I'm not sure where I do this. Maybe I can do this back in the ChatGPT app. This one. Opening that. Oh, share. Yeah, here I get a site like config thing in the ChatGPT app itself. And I can say, let's let anyone on the internet access this, right? So now in the space of, 20 minutes or whatever, I've created an app, a front end with one turn, one question to AI to go and create this. And now I can share it with you and you could use this yourself and then give us feedback, come back to the channel and say, hey, make that app better. But I'm just going to drop this in chat, in Twitch and YouTube chat. Go and try it out. Go and try it out yourself. Give me your thoughts. Give it a click. Give it a click. Give it a feel. That's phenomenal. Okay. I see you, ChatGPT. You're doing pretty good. Doing a pretty good job. Next up, Flight Simulator. So I'm pretty happy with how the music visualizer web app went. I mean, just between the generations of GPT 5.5 to GPT 5.6, massive improvement, right? If we did something else, like let's say that we close the right view, added a new split group, and we choose Pulse. This is Fable 5 on the right. Let me hide my... Let me make this a bit smaller. Hold on. Streaming webcam. Make this smaller and move this to like here, right? There we go. So this is GPT 5. Let's put this down here. This is, let me turn this mic on as well. This is Fable 5 on the right, and this is GPT 5.6 Soul High or Extra High on the left. I mean, they've both got some nice options of visualization. So they've got different scenes. This has got a halo scene. They've both got a halo scene, actually, with a radial bloom kind of thing. I think Fable 5's is cleaner than the GPT 5.6 version, but like I'm not complaining about either of them. They're both quite nice. They both support stream. So most of the other ones, I don't know if this one does. We didn't ask it to, but if we asked it to do stream, I think it's nice that this lets you share a window and the audio from that window. And so if you were playing a game or doing something online, you could point it to that. That's awesome. That's quite nice, right? You've got like tracks. So you can choose a file. Like if we had an audio file, which we do, we could play that. So let me do this one. quite nice. You know, quite nice, honestly. So, I mean, Fable 5 versus GPT 5.6, I think I don't have any problems with either of them. They're both like really good models. They're both really good models. So I mean, I'm pretty impressed at like how far GPT has come, even with like one model iteration. All right, cool. So our next test was going to be fly around Paris. Soiree Paris flight. Watch AI Bengineering l.chatgpt.site. So we get another site. We see our GPT 5.6 version of the Eiffel Tower, and then we can start having a bit of a fly around. Pitch, bank. We've got a yaw, so we can control the plane like that. That's not bad, honestly. The flight controls feel nice. It does feel, you know, like we're flying a plane. We can click. No, we can't. We can shift. Ah, yes, we press shift to speed up and control to slow down. Can we slow down to a stop? No. Ooh. Sorry. If I click, I must have closed it. Let's do it again. Oh, you can actually click and drag your mouse to control the plane as well. Interesting. You can change the view to first person, to behind. Okay, so you can only do behind those two. You can show the guide or hide it. Okay, you can also click the buttons to change the guide. We can slow right down and do the banking thing with our drag to turn around and hopefully see the Eiffel Tower. Can we crash the plane? That's really what we want to do. Can we have explosions and blow this thing up? Doot. No, okay, we just clip through the terrain. Again, you know, it's pretty basic. It's not like this is going to replace the games industry, but for 5 minutes and, you know, just using GPT 5.6 with a single prompt on extra high, like this is an awesome start point, right? If you wanted to show a little demo, or you wanted to like get some people hyped or give some people something fun to do, or, you know, build a game for your kid to keep him occupied and to let him mess around, like replace the plane with whatever like your unique thing your kid is interested in, right? Like maybe they're interested in how to train your dragon, and so you make this a dragon instead. You know, you can do that. You can do that really easily. Fact is, I'm pretty impressed with that. This wasn't GPT 5.6. No, it was. This was GPT 5.6. Okay, so let's see what Claude did. This is the Claude version of the same game, or the same prompt, I should say. CLD parry. I think the Fable did a much better job on making the Eiffel Tower. The Fable Eiffel Tower is like much more true to form. It's used the same control system, interestingly enough. Control to go slower, shift to go faster. The Eiffel Tower definitely does look a lot more Eiffel Towery. Can we fly up it? Can we crash into it? Okay, no. We clipped through that in the Fable one as well. We weren't very specific about object collisions. That's not bad. Again, one-shotting prompt on a flight sim game. Very nice. CLD Paris, a lazy evening over the Eiffel Tower, flying around. You can also turn on auto tour, so you actually can do some pathfinding and fly on its own around the tower so that you can just like watch it as well. Oh, that's fascinating. I like that. I feel like that's just like the next level where like it can put like automatic pathfinding into the game for you. We'll just let it fly around in a circle and like, you know, like run the controls itself. Both GPT 5.6 and Fable 5 have done a pretty good job at this, I gotta say. I am impressed. Let me put both of these in the browser so you can see them side by side. I want to get your opinion. Chat. What do you think? What do you think about these two? Which one would you prefer? So we've got our soiree flight, and then we need our Claude localhost 5173. Let me put that in here as well. Add to new split view, localhost. I'm just going to put this in auto mode. What do you think is better between our two flight sim games? Should build an aircraft carrier landing game. Yes, sir. Your wish is my command. GPT 5.6, do you want to do that as a head-to-head as well? Mr. Dilshan XYZ 123. I've got one more app to test how it went as well. Let's put this in. Oh, what? I've already got a usage limit reset. Awesome. Awesome. Build an aircraft carrier landing game. That's it. Your prompt is my command. And then we'll give that to Fable 5 as well. Build an aircraft carrier landing game. Fable 5, go. Now, because this makes it so easy to share, I might just share this as well. Anyone in the internet, publish. I don't know if I have like a specific limit for how many sites I can share. I guess we'll find that out later. Once I hit the limits and then it blocks me. But yeah, let's see what we can create with an aircraft carrier landing. We'll do this with Fable as well. Let me check what my usage is. We've only hit 36% of our 5-hour limit, and we've got heaps of weekly Fable left. So I need to use all of this up by like tomorrow. So if you've got more ideas of things that we want to see, like what can top tier models actually solve, let me know. For now, try this soiree Paris flight. See if that works. See if it works on mobile. I haven't tried this on mobile at all. But, you know, we've got a couple of good comparisons for now. We've got our music visualizer that's responding to the microphone. We've got I can close this one. We've got our Paris flight sim. Pressing R will reset this and put it in the right thing. I mean, you got to say, does this have a reset? The Eiffel Tower looks a lot more Eiffel Towery in the Fable 5 version than it does in the. Let me do a bank and have a look. Looks a lot more like Eiffel. Oh, there we go. Let me add that back to split view. Yeah, it looks a hell of a lot more Eiffel Towery in the Fable 5.1 than it does in the GPT 5.6 one, if that gives you any indication of the qualities of the model visually. But either way, they both made a working game in one go, so I'm not going to complain. All right, let's see how our aircraft carrier landing game is going. Not bad. While I'm waiting for our aircraft carrier landing game to build, let's have a look at how the GPT Japan itinerary app went. So another comparison. Oh, no. Let's go into Japan Atlas. So this is another comparison with, no, that was Fable 5. This one, we're going to do a comparison between GPT 5.5 and GPT 5.6. And this is GPT 5.5 pre-release of GPT 5.6. So it's not like we're getting like, we're not actually doing these side by side in current, separate views. hold on, give me a sec. Add this, and we want to add Japan Atlas, this one. All right. So, we did this when it was the latest GPT out, right? So GPT 5.5, we get a nice banner. In GPT 5.6, let me put this down like here. We get Japan in full color, 14 days, Tokyo to Miyajima. We get a route. We got a route with the Fable 5 version. We got a nice overview and map of Japan, and I think I prefer the Fable 5 one to this. This doesn't, I don't know. Now I'm not a geography expert, but that doesn't look a whole lot like Japan to me. So that was a good attempt, GPT 5.6 Sol, but you've got some work to do on geography, like many of us might. I do like the overall layout of this app a little bit more, having oh, nice. Mid-August Obon is culturally rich, one of the year's busiest domestic travel periods. And awesome. Okay. Definitely looks like Japan. Build an app to find the best Korean barbecue place. Thank you, chatters. Excellent. Transport and accommodation pressure, especially outside big cities. Okay, so my big criticism of all of the different AI prior to except for Fable, was that none of them picked up that Obon was the busiest period, but it's awesome to see that GPT 5.6, like 1 week after I made that video, already kind of addresses that. It finds the actual thing you'd care about when booking a trip in Japan during August, and it's like, watch out for this festival. So I'm glad GPT 5.6 can do that now as well. Let me move this text out of the way. What the hell? What's going on? This is what I want to move. Let's check the agenda. Agenda in our new GPT 5.6 one is kind of similar to what we had in our other one. What we do early, midday, and evening each day. I feel like the style is very minimalistic, but I kind of like that. If your dates line up, it gives you some ideas about festivals that you can go to. I think this is quite nice. Again, I think the design is much nicer in the GPT 5.6 version. Similar information, but I think this is much nicer. So we had some places, history, and food icons in GPT 5.5, but in GPT 5.6, it gives you like place, memory, meaning. See more when you know what happened here. Tokyo, Akone, Kyoto. That's much nicer, right? Gives you atlas notes, and most importantly, it then actually gives you a link back to the official source. Yeah, we had some links here, but I mean, that's nice. That's really nice. Move less, notice more. Gives you a bit of a breakdown. Built from official sources, designed for real days. Again, similar sources it gives you, but the design and the overall cohesiveness of it, and the fact that it does pull out, it's hot. Here's how you plan your days, and also you should watch out for the Obon busy period. That's real nice. All right. Again, awesome to see GPT 5.6 come out with this like within a week. Hey, Aaron Stan, how you doing? Thanks, buddy. I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time at the moment. We're streaming. We are building things. We're testing out GPT 5.6. We're building some simulations. We built a new audio visualizer with GPT 5.6. We also built a flight sim in both Fable and GPT 5.6. So things are going well. We're having fun. It's good to see you dropping back in. Let's check. So, okay, that was the itinerary comparison. The last thing that I want to do from an advanced perspective is look at what do we want to pick? That looks a bit too simplistic. This looks a bit too retro. I feel like we want something like a flight test minimal, like an actual, let's do 3. We want something that's a little bit more like realistic. So I feel like the flight test minimal is the thing that makes me the happiest. But if you'd prefer something else, like, let me know. Want to come more often? Sadly, my schedule is not like yours. I've been busy. Yeah, man. Life gets busy. I mean, took me, since I streamed on Tuesday, this is actually the first time I've streamed since Tuesday because I have been trying to video edit, man. Like, video edit is wildly more time consuming than I assumed it would be. So I've been vibe coding things to help me video edit quicker and like clip streams, because I want to get into a habit of like streaming and then like publishing shorts more regularly. But because it takes so long, it took me like 3 days to create one short, man. It's like, I'm gonna need to figure this like video editing thing out and make it faster. 5.6 is from our tests so far. Like, if you're looking at the Eiffel Tower, we've got the Fable Eiffel Tower that actually looks like the Eiffel Tower. Let me reload it. You can see that looks like an Eiffel Tower, and this is like a very nice scene. And on the right, we've got the GPT 5.6 Eiffel Tower, much less Eiffel Towery, but the fact is it could still make like a game end to end. I think the better test was looking at the audio visualizers. If you look at, separate these views out and turn this into add tab to split view, and we'll put this in. Oh, where's the other one? Let's do localhost. Oh, audio. Oh, wait, where'd the GPT one go? Huh? Where'd the, let me get it back. Audio visualizer. This one. Aura. There we go. Cool. No, that's the new one. Where's the old one? Huh? This one. Yes, this one. Okay, cool. All right. If you look at the audio visualizer that we had from before, and we look at Auralux, this is the GPT 5.6 one on the left. This is GPT 5.5. So GPT 5.6 has come a long way just in one release from 5.5 in terms of what it can do. The one on the left has scenes. It has like actual colors. It has more like a cleaner UI that you can kind of like hide if you wanted to like make it full screen. And so it understood the mission a lot better and was able to make something more useful. You can then do the window sharing thing if you were playing a game and wanted to like do it as a background overlay, like on stream or whatever. I feel like this is a good visual representation from like a web development perspective of how far 5.6 came in one release. But versus Fable, I still think the Fable one is like cleaner, right? Fable's still better, but like for this kind of thing. But GPT 5.6, it's not that far behind, and it is it's an order of magnitude cheaper. So, if you say online that people are like, oh man, like OpenAI did a really good job of like catching up very quickly and like making something that is compelling and doesn't break the bank, like I feel like that's legit, and you could just use you can use GPT 5.6 for so much longer without like destroying your quota. I haven't compared it to Opus, but I don't think Opus can do as much as quickly as well. So in my test so far, 5.6 is like OpenAI actually cooked pretty hard with this. This is pretty good. It's pretty good from what I can see. From what I've used so far, we'll see. I have to do some more side-by-side tests on like projects. Another one that I wanted to try at some point was Grok Build. I don't know if you've seen Grok 4.5, but that came out recently as well. I did one prompt with this. They have a CLI for it, just like a terminal CLI. So you just install it with like PowerShell, so it's not a desktop thing for it. But this was fast, and it did a pretty good job at like making UI as well. Out of everything, like just the speed of this and how quickly it could make something, that was pretty impressive. So if this is what they can do with like such a small amount of time after acquiring Cursor, like give SpaceX some more time and they may like actually be a serious competitor to OpenAI and Claude at some point soon. We'll see. The rest of this year is going to be fascinating to watch as the big boys battle it out in the AI Frontier Labs arena. But it's, 5.6, tick of approval so far. I'm not too upset. Like it's just good to have choices at the high end, right? Given how much more expensive the Fable one is, like, yes, it's better. Yes, you should expect that. Yes, you get a cleaner thing. Yes, it has like a better understanding of France and how things should be laid out. But like, I'm still pretty happy that even GPT was able to do this in one prompt. UI is definitely a lot cleaner, and I use it for UI a lot. So I'm quite happy that GPT 5.6 has solved the UI problems in a big way. We were gonna do one more test. I've been streaming for a bit too long. I was actually gonna like only do it for an hour. It's been like 2, so I was gonna go and watch some MSI League of Legends, see where they're at, and see if we're actually going to get a Western team in a finals. So I might go and do that in a second. I'll finish watching my one test that I didn't actually finish off. What is it? Build aircraft carrier landing game. Did this finish? Nah, that's still chugging along. Well, sorry, Dilshan XYZ123. I might have to demo this next time because I'm missing out. I'm missing out on some LoL esports goodness. So I will be back probably on Monday. I'm going to see if I can sort out my like shorts editing process kind of today and tomorrow and take a day off from streaming. Thanks for dropping in, Aaron Stans. Good to see you again. Good to see you again. I think you're one of my first actual chatters and return chatters. So I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And I hope I catch you again next time. I'll be back in, I think, either Monday or Tuesday. And I'll probably be streaming earlier. This was like a late one because I got a new camera and so I needed to test it out, right? Done the desk setup, changed this around. I've got a camera. Like we're chilling. So big hearts. Lots of love. I'll see you all soon, but I'm gonna use that to wrap it up. And next time we might start off by playing a aircraft carrier landing game built by GPT 5.6, or unless it's finished it. Oh, we might have gotten in just before I stop. Okay, all right, I'm gonna have to play it real quick then. Okay, come on then. What do we got? Deck lock carrier game. Start approach, bright night heron ahead. Ball centered on final fly of the ball. I don't know what the controls are here. It's using a very similar control scheme and UI to what it did for the other one. So it's interesting that it's definitely got a style about how it lays out like game UIs. But my controls don't seem to be working. It says W and S throttle. Oh, left and right pitch and... Oh, okay. I can't use WASD. I have to use WS and then the arrow keys. On final, fly the ball. Wait, I'm too low. Oh, okay. I'm centered. Can I go too high? Oh, okay. I can go too high as well. Unsafe touchdown speed, aircraft lost. Problem is that I don't see an aircraft unless this is the... like the front view, like you're looking out of the cockpit. But this doesn't... Can I go faster? It's taking ages. What? Okay, too high. Okay, now it's centered. No. Oh, okay. I lost. I don't know if this is a good game or if it's a poor example, but I feel like we'd need to do another iteration. I don't think it's properly one-shot it. Unless you played a lot of like aircraft carrier landing games and you're like, yep, this is standard. To me, I'm like, what's going on? GPT 5.6, what have you done? This might be a good like test case for seeing if Fable 5 does a better... Yeah, I have no idea if I'm close to landing or not. I have no concept of what's happening. You know, and if I crash, like I want an aircraft to go up in flames. I want a fireball. Like this is supposed to be fun, right? This is just confusing at the moment. So we might need to work on this one-shotting. I agree. I don't think it's the cleanest right now. What could you do? What could you do? I'm gonna end stream. Thanks all. Thanks Aaron. Thanks people for dropping in. Thanks Devo for swinging by, and for both of my platforms for having people drop in. Big hearts. Enjoy League. I'm gonna go and watch some lolly sports. Let's go. Let's go Lion. Ciao ciao.